Welcome to Savor the Story podcast, where books and snacks are life. I'm Nicole. That's Vanessa.
Hello.
Hello. I never know what side you're going to be on, so every time I point at the screen, I'm like, she's not in the screen.
She's not in the screen.
She's on one of the sides. So.
Oh, now I can't remember. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Welcome to
all.
Today's episode. Can I tell you something real fast?
Of course.
That I forgot to tell you in the last episode.
Okay.
Which is still fine. People will just hear it a week later. I forgot to tell you that Dungeon Crawler Carl is going to be a TV show. Seth MacFarlane picked it up.
Oh, well, that's not surprising. Yeah.
It's going to be live action. Yeah. So we, if you didn't listen to episode 51, go back and listen to 51. Everything about Dungeon Crawler Carl is there. I just forgot this little tidbit. It was announced that Seth MacFarlane picked it up, but there was no information about it. And in the panel that I went to at the festival, someone asked him, and he said, they asked cartoon or live action, and he said live action. Which is fucking wild, though, because there's going to be so much CGI.
Yeah. That makes sense. I wonder who they're going to pick up for all that.
Yeah, because they actually have to hire actors and actresses to play these. Princess Donut is a full CGI. Like, you can't just have a real cat running around playing Princess Donut. She shoots missiles out of her eyes. How is she gonna have a cat?
Yeah, man, that's gonna be expensive to make.
I know. So I was really shocked. So anyway, there's not a whole lot of information about it. Like, they don't have a timeline yet. They don't have whatever. It's just Seth MacFarlane picked up Dungeon Crawler Carl, and it will be live action. So at some point in the future, if we ever get any more news, I will be letting you know.
Yeah, it sounds like I actually need to read the book then. Mm-hmm. At least the first one. So that way I can have my tie-in.
That's right. They do have there's a web comic coming out, I think this week or next week of Dungeon Crawler Carl. So never watched web comics before, but I might give it a try. See what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying new things.
Yeah, so that's my little fast update from last week's episode. Sorry. Nice.
Yeah. That's exciting. I don't feel like I have book news this week. Actually, I saw a TikTok, and I have to ask, because I know you talked about last week, the book fair, the Columbus book thing. I saw a TikTok, and it was people were wearing bookmarks as purses. So their book was slung over the bookmark, and then the bookmark had like a chain connected to each end, so you could wear your book as a purse. I saw a TikTok with people in Columbus doing that.
I did not see that at all.
But
it also rained on Saturday, so like it would have been a bad choice if you wore your book.
Not unless it has a fancy like plastic dust cover, like the ones that the library does.
Yeah.
But, or you're one of those weirdos who.
What are they doing that for?
I don't know.
Just so that they always have their book with them?
I guess. Like, I mean, if you didn't carry a bag with you, I think that would be an acceptable way to carry a book. Assuming you wanted to use your hands for talking.
I need to see visual something of this, because like I can't. Is the chain like there's two holes on either side of the bookmark?
The bookmark, yeah. And then the chain, like I saw, was like one girl had like a ribbon or something, and the other girl's it was like beaded.
How sturdy is this bookmark?
I'm assuming it has to be a pretty sturdy bookmark, right? And because that can't be a paper one. It's just ripped away, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Like,
I need you to find this video, or
how about I make you one?
Oh no. I will not use it.
Aw, even if it was a gift?
Yeah, I don't carry around a book like that. If I'm carrying something around with me, it's my Kindle.
How about if I made it into a backpack?
Okay.
Would you wear it
How?
then?
I'm still no, because I don't carry a book around with me. Like, why am I carrying an extra thing with me? How? So are these people wearing a purse as well?
Not in this video. And I think they
Okay.
were just like, I think they were wearing them for the video. It wasn't like they were out about town, like walking
Okay.
around and they had like a bookmark purse.
Uh,
They were at, like I said, they were at like the fair,
like
the
a
book thing.
convention
Yeah,
or
and they were just
okay.
like wearing them. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But if you're,
It's just
I'm always carrying a bag or no
yeah.
book.
Yeah, exactly.
They're mutually exclusive events.
I
Like,
yeah, it just doesn't it feels improbable is not the right word, but like
impractical.
impractical, that's the right word. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It just feels impractical.
I don't know. This could
But
be
I'm still
a
intrigued.
yeah. It could be a new favorite thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll make
Interesting.
one. I can 3D print the bookmark.
That would make it at least a little like sturdier.
Right, and
Yeah.
then yeah, I don't know. After that, I don't know, find some beads or something or a ribbon.
Well, I have like straps that I use on my bags, like purses that you could just like unhook and put it on there, right? You
Yes,
could
yes, I
have
could.
interchangeable straps.
Nice. I
Uh,
feel like you could even just take a really long piece of string and stick it through a book like that,
yeah.
like, and just wear it like that. But
Yeah. This sounds questionable.
yeah, I mean, the things people will do for fashion, but
That's
also
true.
I don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine any time where I feel like I'm like, you know what I want to wear today? I want to wear my book out with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've just never had that. I've never had that thought. I've never had something happen to me where I'm just like,
Ah, if only I had my book on a
if oh,
purse.
that's right. No, I always have my Kindle with me or I have my phone with me. So,
Mm-hmm.
hmm.
Yeah, probably a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
people who want to show off their books in public because they're
Mm-hmm.
reading all intellectually.
Oh, they're the ones that are like, look what I have.
Look at this book. To be or not to be. Like,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
But if there's ever a book to quote, I feel like that's a good one.
mm-hmm. Literally the
Um,
only part of the book I can quote.
same. I feel like I saw a bunch of shit on the socials this weekend about like all book stuff and everything, and I feel like over the last however couple months or whatever, there's been a few like quote unquote scandals in the book community that we've talked about, you know, like of
Oh,
the book festival that went bad and like
oh
the
yeah.
author that went crazy and like all
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. And there was another thing that happened this weekend and I was like, I don't know. I feel like we should make a turn.
All right. I'm
Um,
intrigued.
okay, because I feel like and I don't think it's just the book community. I just feel like because I'm in the book community online, I see it. I feel like it's becoming toxic,
Mm,
but I also feel like it's all online communities that
yeah.
have toxic. And I don't know if that's a like an algorithm situation that's happening where like I looked at one scandal or I looked at this thing that happened and now everything is like, oh, you want tea? Oh, you want like shit?
Yes.
Or is it like really that's what the book community is like what is happening out
Mm-hmm.
there, you
Yeah,
know?
it's so hard to tell.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just like yeah, if it's throwing it at me for whatever reason, but I just feel like it's every week, every day, every whatever, there's something new that's happening. There's a new author that's being canceled for either legitimate reasons or not, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just somebody is being canceled. And if you're being canceled because you don't like a book character, then that's fucking stupid. If you're being canceled because you've said racist things, then okay, yes, I
Yeah.
agree. But like, but it's just constant, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like I'm maybe a little overwhelmed with that
Mm-hmm.
lately. And so my turn is that maybe if I stop talking about it, it'll stop showing up on my feed.
I mean, I think there's some validity behind that because how many
Hmm.
times have we even said just in this podcast, like, oh, yes, I said the word,
Blah, blah,
hat,
blah.
blah, 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 and all of a sudden I have 100 TikToks, or,
Yep.
Amazon wants me to buy one, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, there's
I feel like that
probably validity
just
there.
happened to us the other day, didn't it? Like we talked about
Mhm.
something on the pod and you immediately turned around and you were like, well, guess what TikTok just showed me?
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's right. I immediately sent you a video like after we finished
Yeah.
recording. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Within like 10 minutes, it was like that
Yes. Oh
topic popped
man.
up. I can't
What?
remember what it was.
I have to.
But it's done that with you with Twilight before, like a lot with Twilight. Anytime that's brought up, it's like your feed gets flooded. So I just feel
Hmm.
like maybe if we take a step back a little bit from all of the drama that's happening out there in the book community, whether it's Book Talk or Bookstagram or Threads has become massively big for all of the fucking drama. Um, I don't know. I just feel like it's become a space for like people to just spew hate at other people because they
Hmm.
disagree with whatever. And like I said, when
Hmm.
it's legitimate, there's okay, it's legitimate. But when you're just spewing hate at people because they have different opinions, like about things that are objective, then
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of negativity. And I'm not. Let's find some positivity out there.
All right.
Next week, we will come with some positive news
Oh.
because
I thought you were about to throw some
no,
positivity
I
at me.
have no positivity right now, other than, I don't know, I'm still on a Matt Denneman high, so that's where my positivity is at. The amount, like the interactions that I had, here's some positivity. The interactions that I had with other readers in line waiting for signing and blah, 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 is the kind of interactions I want to have with all fandoms and
Hmm.
people and whatever, where we literally are just vibing over the fact that we both enjoy this thing. And whether you have a different opinion on like a character or whatever, like uh, whatever, who fucking cares? Like, let's talk about it. Let's have fun. Like this, it's fun.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the vibe that I would like to cultivate.
All right. Starting now.
Nicole's TikTok, please listen to us.
Yes. Happy. It's
Yes.
like speak into it. Like
Hmm.
happy,
Yes.
positive,
Happy book vibes.
happy book vibes. Happy book vibes.
Happy book vibes. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens. We'll see what happy book vibe information we have for you next week.
Yeah. We'll see if the computers are listening to that.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of where I've been the last little bit of in this like weird headspace of just like, why is there just so much of people being assholes
Mm-hmm.
everywhere
Mm-hmm.
about everything?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm stressed out as it is, like
Right.
with like work and home stuff and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't need it anywhere
Mm-mm.
else.
Especially
I was just gonna say I go to the internet to like find things that make me happy. So
right. Yeah, and especially with things like with our entertainment. Like
mm-hmm.
these are things that we're trying to do for fun and for release and for whatever, like books, TV, whatever it is, and
Mm-hmm. What is
let's
it?
make it
Is
that.
it dopamine that our brains
Oh yeah,
crave?
probably. Yeah.
Electrolytes.
No, not electro. I
Oh.
think you were right with dopamine. Like if there's a dopamine release
Mm-hmm.
with the yeah. Electrolytes is the isn't that like a
That's what plants crave.
oh
Sorry.
that I don't I mean we need electrolytes, but I don't think that's what we get from the like high. I think it's the dopamine.
Mm-mm. It is.
We are the smartest people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, I do have, well, it's not book news, but it
Okay.
it makes me happy news.
Okay. Great. That's the vibe we're going for.
Since you said we're going for that vibe.
Yes.
I know everybody who maybe watched last week's episode got to see Remy's little face pop up at the end. The only reason I bring this up is because I know a couple weeks ago I brought up that he had hurt his back and the whole IVD scare when he was like lost control of his back legs. I am happy to report that he is walking again.
Excellent.
And he's been cleared for 5 minutes of walking.
Okay.
Which is really hard for you if you have a dog. Anybody who has a dog is probably like, how the fuck do you keep your dog from walking more than 5 minutes, right? But Remy really likes to go for walkies. And I sent you a picture. But we couldn't take him haven't been able to take him for walks in like a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
So we got out our wagon and filled it full of blankets and put like an umbrella over it. And pulled him around in the wagon. He was not sure about how he felt about that at first. Okay. But I think about halfway through, he was like, all right, I still get some smells. And he didn't try to escape. He didn't act like he was like, scared or anything like that. But so yeah, if you've never seen it was one of those things where as we're walking down the road with a dog in a wagon, like people were driving
you feel like
by.
You're one of those people.
Yes, everybody like riding their bikes by and driving. They're just like,
you're one of those.
You're one of those like people who, it's like my dog has broken back. Like,
but also like you don't know if they're like elderly or something, like an elderly dog. Like you don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen all over the internet people who take like their elderly dogs for walks in wagons and stuff, so they can still be part of the family and stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly. That's what. So when we go out to races for Tim and we go to like the aid stations and stuff, if I have the dogs, I always have the wagon with me, and I don't walk like this, but when we're hanging out at the aid station, Ollie will get into the wagon because it's his hiding spot, like he hides from people. And I've had like a ton of people, they'll be like, oh, is your dog old? And I'm like, no, he's just scared.
No, please back away.
Yeah, please do not get close to him. But yeah, I feel like that's a common thing, is like if you have an older dog and you still want them to hang out with you, you bring them their wagon. That's good that he didn't try to jump out, because that would have been really bad.
Oh, I know. I never would have lived that down.
No.
Forgiven myself or any, but yeah, he didn't even try. Good. Like I said, we put in a lot of blankets. Yeah. It was pretty comfy.
Like, this is a cozy spot. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, literally the only thing you could see was like his head in between like this thing. Hello. Like,
I will put the picture in here. Yeah. Well, I will have already done it. So back up. Rewind if you haven't.
Yeah.
Do you have a snack? Because I don't think I do. Great. Can I steal it?
Yes. You can steal any part of it.
Okay.
So I have a whole story to go with it. Yeah. So a friend of ours gave us like a, what is it called? A suggestion to go to this place. I don't know how many people have ever heard it, but it's like a township kind of, or like a city within Detroit called Hamtramck.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my favorite. So anyways, in Hamtramck, there is a Polish deli, and they have like all the meats, the crazy meats and cheeses, like a whole bunch of crazy candy that you cannot get anywhere else.
Okay.
Like crackers and cookies, crazy wine. So like we were just like buying stuff that looked interesting that we'd never had or seen before or whatever. And then Mike was like, well, since we're here, can you get some mayo? Because we ran out. And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. And if you're wondering where I'm going with this, the only reason I bring it up, all their mayo was in bags. Like squeeze pouches.
Really?
Have you ever seen those squeeze pouches for like baby food or applesauce?
Yes.
It was like that. Except bigger.
I've never seen... Well, okay, so that's how I buy my sour cream, is I buy the
Right. Oh,
squeeze
okay. Yeah,
tube.
sour. Yeah,
So
sour cream.
same,
That's a good.
okay, yeah,
Yes, it's the same thing. It's like a
okay,
squeezed tube of mayonnaise, and
okay,
I'd never seen it before. I was like,
mm-mm,
okay, whatever. So I bought it, and it tastes
uh-huh,
like mayonnaise.
okay, good.
Yes, I made it. I used it to make my chicken salad for lunch today,
Uh-huh,
and it turned out tasty. So
good.
my snack for this week is mayo in a bag.
Okay, well, I'm not going to use mayo in a bag. Oh no, should I use sour cream in a bag?
Okay.
It's a terrible snack.
People are like, I think I'm over this podcast.
Yeah, who uses sour cream in a bag as a snack? I don't have a snack this week. Oh no. That's all I have.
um,
The end.
trying to think of what else I had.
Yeah, I need to steal something from you.
Oh, I found these candies. They're like truffles, but
Hmm.
I didn't realize how big they were. But they're like this fucking big. Um, but
What?
they're plums, and then they have chocolate nougat, and then they're covered in more chocolate. Oh
Okay.
my god.
Did you get them from this place, the same place?
Yes. I
Okay.
wish I bought 2 bags.
Oh.
They're so good. Like I luckily Mike tried one and he was like, "Ah, too much chocolate." And I was like, "Yes."
These are all
Yes.
mine.
Exactly what I wanted to hear, sir.
Hmm.
So you can have that if you want.
That does
Or
not sound great.
you can have mayo in a bag then. And I'll
No,
take
that's
the
okay.
chocolate covered plums.
I know. I ate some peanut M&Ms this weekend.
Hmm.
I will use peanut M&Ms as my
Fine. If you don't want to use mayo in a bag.
No, you use mayo in a bag.
All right.
Keep your weird snacks to yourself.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Um,
Are you ready for my book?
yes. Okay, now tell me about your book.
Okay.
Did you say single?
Yep.
Okay.
One book.
Okay.
I don't want to say I've hit a reading slump because I know I've already
Again?
been in one. No, it's definitely not a reading slump.
Okay.
But I only finished one book this week.
Okay.
I am not doing well with books. I'm having problems finding books, I think. So,
Okay.
um, usually my way to combat like book slumps is by reading romances
Mm-hmm.
because they're just super easy to read.
They're fast.
Um,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and that's what this was.
Okay.
um, so this is called Things You Save in a Fire by Katherine Center.
Okay.
Kindle, Unlimited,
Mm-hmm.
and it is also a romance. All right. So Cassie is a firefighter in Texas, and she has the perfect job until it's not.
Okay.
So, in addition,
Is
like,
firefighting the perfect job?
she thinks it is.
Okay. I think
For
that's
her.
okay. Okay, that's fair. Yes,
Yes,
it is.
it's
'Cause
perfect
to
for
me,
her.
I was gonna say that does not sound like the perfect job. That sounds terrifying. But okay.
Yes, but she thinks it's the perfect job for her.
Okay.
But then something happens, and it's not perfect anymore. And also, at the same time this is happening, out of the blue, she gets a phone call from her estranged mother who is asking for help. She's sick and she needs some assistance, so she just wants her to come up and help her, just, things around the house for just like a year. That's it.
Okay.
Cassie is obviously like a year's kind of a long time,
That's yeah. It's quite the commitment.
Right. But even though she's kind of hesitant about it, because she had an issue at her current job, she ends up agreeing to it. And so off she goes to her new firehouse in Boston,
Okay.
where nothing is like her old firehouse. To include things like crappy facilities, and of course, it's a good old boys club. So, to quote,
What a delight.
yep, He-Man woman haters, no girls allowed. That's the vibe that I got during this book.
All right.
Um, so Cassie doubles down and she decides she's gonna out firefighter the other firefighters. Say
Okay.
that 5 times fast.
Yes.
Um, but she does have one firefighter on her side, the handsome rookie who thinks she's just the best.
I was gonna say it's a hot guy, isn't it?
The hottest guy.
The hottest.
But Cassie can't have feelings for a rookie. Ugh.
Oh no.
It complicates things.
That's
Come on,
right.
guys. Um, so I wish this book was worth me taking a lot of notes.
Okay.
It wasn't a bad book. It's one of those books, it's the perfect read when you want no wasted brain activity.
All right.
Like, I only had to commit one brain cell to this
Like you
book.
literally did not have to like think about it. You didn't have to. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This book, like, I know I called it a romance. Yeah, I guess. I mean, technically there's romance in it, but
Okay.
she spends a significant amount of time in this book avoiding him or tied to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, so it's like one of those love at first sights, you know, like she immediately sees him, she's like, that guy's hot. And then
Okay.
she's in love with him. I would say lust, but it's not that type of book.
Okay.
There isn't smut, there isn't anything like that. It's just more of a
She immediately feels deeply for him.
yes, like
Okay.
I think I mean, spoiler alert, I think they end up like getting married or or proposing marriage to each other within
Okay.
like 2 weeks of knowing each other, right?
Okay.
Because they're the one. So yeah, like I said, she sees him like one time, she spends like 80% of her time avoiding him, and then they go on one date together, and
It's
she's
over.
she's like, this is the guy I must marry. So I'm assuming a lot of their like bonding moments and their romance moments are happening off page because I didn't get to experience them.
Okay.
There are some triggers in this book that give it some, I don't want to call it substance, but give it something going on, maybe is a better word. Like, because like I alluded to earlier, she gets to this new firehouse. It's a good old boys club. There is like sexual harassment that goes on.
Okay.
She's threatened and stalked. So like there is stuff happening. But it's also like one of those books where you're like,
Yeah.
like, not trying to downplay what you're going through, but I know it's gonna work out.
Right. Okay.
And I like you've already
So-
you've already said that you guys love each other and you're gonna marry
Right.
and run off into the like you want to have his babies, like
Right. I feel like even when it's predictable, I think if it's written well enough, then it's still like the things that the
right,
like bad things that happen or whatever can still give you some emotional feeling to it,
right,
even though it's predictable. But if it's not written the right way, I feel like that, like you said, it just kind of feels like, yeah, okay, I know what's going to happen, so I'm not really that concerned.
right. Yeah, I was interested to see how she overcame the issues with like in her new firehouse, how she overcomes like the sexual harassment issues, and like I was interested to see how she was going to come through that. That part interested me, and I think that part of the story was more interesting to me than the romance was.
Okay.
So
Like how she dealt with trauma and all
yeah,
that.
and
Okay.
yeah, like her new firehouse and like
Okay.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I felt that was way more interesting than her love story. Her love
Okay.
story was almost secondary to the book, and like I
Okay.
said, it was like quick and fast.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so I rated this one 3 bags of mayo.
3 whole bags. All right. I have another series for you today. I'm
How are
sorry.
you reading this much?
Okay, listen. I go through phases where I like have to fit in books between my TV watching, and I have to be like, I have to read. And then I also go through phases where I'm like, all I want to do is read, and I'll watch a TV show like randomly here and there. And that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
So right now I'm in a moment of all of my free time and all of my, I mean, this series that I'm talking about today, I did read a little while ago, but that is where I'm at right now. Like in a just, I have a free moment, I'm reading or listening.
So you're saying if we weren't recording right now,
I
you
would
would be reading?
Yes. Especially because I only have like an hour and a half left in my last dungeon book. So I would be.
All right, get on it.
And I also just started a new Kindle book today too. Okay, so this series that I'm going to talk to you about today is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. It is a trilogy. I will tell you though, the reason why I picked this up originally was because of the length of them. I listened to them on Audible, but all 3 books are about 6 hours. And when you listen to them at 1.4 or 1.5, they're about 5 hours. So they're very, very fast. So I got through all 3 of them pretty quickly. So again, I'm going to give you kind of like the overview and then just like a little snippet of each of them.
Okay.
Oh, I also listened to these. If you listen to our mid-year check-in, I did it because they are a TV show. And so it marked off my my TV show thing. All right. So you've got Belly. I think her name is Isabella. I don't remember what her actual name is because they only call her Belly. And her brother Steven. And then there's 2 friends, Conrad and Jeremiah. Every summer, Belly and Steven go with their mom to the beach house at Cousins Beach, and they spend it with their mom's best friend, who is the mom of Conrad and Jeremiah. They've basically been going every year since Belly was born, so she's grown up around all of them and at Cousins Beach. The first book is set when she's now 15. She's turning 16 this summer. And her brother and Jeremiah are 16 and Con is 17. So they're all kind of in that like age range. Belly has been in love with Conrad for as long as she can remember. And Jeremiah is her best friend. They've always just seen her as like, that's just Belle's. The little sister who comes along every summer until this summer. This summer that she's turning 16, everything's different. There's just something different about her. There's something like extra about her. And it's basically like this little teen story of crushes and love triangles. The second book, I'm just going to give you kind of an overview of all 3 and then I'll tell you what I thought. Okay, so the second book does have a trigger warning. I will say there's a death of a parent in book 2, and cancer is a trigger in this one. So in this book, it's Conrad has been at college for the past year. One of the parents lost their battle with cancer and the boys are not dealing with it very well. And Belly kind of has like a falling out with Conrad, and then like it's a weird dynamic with mom not being there and like the summer not being the same and like all that kind of stuff. And then book 3 is 2 years later from that. And this is why I don't want to do the series, because I like the description is kind of a spoiler, but I'm just going to say it. Spoiler alert right now if you haven't read the whole series and you don't want to know anything. So it's 2 years later after book 2. Belly and Jeremiah have been in a relationship, and it has not been all sunshine and rainbows that they thought it was going to be. Jeremiah has a situation, and they like a we were on a break type situation, and Belly is back to thinking about her future and whether or not she's ever gotten over Conrad. Okay, So that's the series. It's kind of what happens in all the books. Book 1 I really enjoyed. I thought it was really cute. I thought like I really love the aspect of the friendship that brings them together every summer. Like the friendship between the moms is I really like that. The friendships with just you already go in knowing that there's the 2 boys that are there and then the 1 girl. Like you already know that what you're gonna get, whatever. But I feel like the dynamic of them like growing up and raising their kids together and like them growing up as like family almost was I really liked that aspect of it. I had some issues with the books altogether. I feel like some of it was just like the YA of it all, just the fact that she's 15, 16, they're all like young teenagers or whatever. Like miscommunication shit that happens between these teens, and I'm just like whatever. I also had a problem with this because it's like it's made such a big deal that she's been in love with Conrad for so long, and I don't get the vibes from them of like I don't get love vibes. I don't there's nothing about him that is like, or even about her, that makes me feel like, oh yeah, they love, like she loves him, right? Like I don't know.
She speaks it into existence, so therefore it must be true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's just like, I love him, and you as the reader are like, oh, she loves him. Like that's it. In this book, I am totally team Jeremiah. Like he's the best friendship between them. I really enjoyed, but whatever. That's that. Also, I like I said, I listened to these. The narration was good, but I found that like, you know how you can hear when someone is like smiling or whatever? I felt like there were so many times where I almost could feel or hear the narrator smiling, and I was like, this is not a time where somebody should be smiling. Like it just, I don't know. Yeah. So it felt weird. Like I wasn't getting the vibes that I felt I should be getting from the story. Okay, so book 2 is fucking sad because you've got the death of the parent. I just feel like the whole book is just sad fucking book. I for sure cried through like this whole book.
Vanessa.
Yes, I know. I was just so sad. It was so sad watching them grieve. Like
right.
Listening to them grieve. It was really sad. And then there's, I don't know, Belly's obsession with Conrad in this book just felt like an obsession. It didn't feel like a crush. It didn't feel like real feelings or anything like that. It literally felt like this girl was obsessed, and I was like, bro.
So she was Bella.
She was Bella. Yeah.
She was Twilight Bella.
She was Twilight Bella.
All right.
Yeah, we're just like, no matter what happened, no matter what Conrad did, no matter, and he kind of fucks up, like it, and she's just like, I love him. He's perfect. No, he's not. And they never talk. Like you never get a full conversation from them. Also in this book, so she has a best friend named Taylor that's kind of throughout it all. I do not believe their friendship. Like I reading it, I'm like, how? I don't see you as best friends. Like
did you keep reading it? Like, when will she betray her?
Yes. Yes, I did. This bitch is gonna betray you because she is not whatever. So book 3. First and foremost, the back and forth between these brothers, seriously, what the fuck, Belly? Like, this is a situation where love triangle gone completely wrong. I could not deal with the back and forth, with the like, but I still love him and I'm with him and I'm blah, whatever. Like it was over the top in this one. Second, I did stop being team Jeremiah in this book, and not because of the we were on the break situation. He felt like a completely different character to me in this book. Like he was written differently. He was like, it just felt like he was a completely different person. And in the first 2 books, I really got like strong like best friend vibes, or like, you know, he cared. And then this one, it was just like he's in college now and he's just like, meh, I'm in college.
Right.
So there's that. And I also really questioned this one too, because this one has the 2-year jump, and you've now been with Jeremiah in a relationship for 2 years, and then you see Conrad one time and you're like, I don't know if I'm over him. Then what were you doing for the last 2 fucking years? Like, you were not in a committed fucking loving relationship if you see him one time for 5 minutes and you're like, well, I'm questioning everything. Like,
Yeah,
it was
that's
too
hard.
much. Yeah. So I do have a lot of spoilers for this one. I'm not gonna say them all here, but it was a lot. So my first book I rated 4 peanut M&Ms. The second book was 3 peanut M&Ms, and the third book was 2.5 peanut M&Ms.
I hate
Two and a
when that
half,
happens.
but I will round it. I think I'm gonna round it down to 2. I just could not get behind the whole back and forth of it all. I did watch the show. So there's currently 2 seasons out, and it's supposed to follow the books. So like season 1 is book 1, season 2 is book 2. Season 3 actually comes out. I know this episode will already be out, but for me in my time, it comes out next week. It starts on July 16th, season 3, and it goes through September. So when this episode comes out, we'll be like halfway through the season. The show does not follow the books. I will tell you that right now. It's on Amazon Prime if anybody is looking for it. I finished the series and immediately started watching, and I was like, did I read this book? I don't know. It does not follow that 60-40 rule that you had talked about before.
Yeah.
They
That's
change. Yeah, they change a lot. So there's some speculation about some things that are going to happen in season 3 of like the author is actually going to change how she ended the book and change, like, give us more of what happened.
Can you do that? Can you
I
just go
don't
back
know.
and change your book?
So I don't think she's going to change the storyline itself, but she's going to give more because
Oh, okay.
the end of this book is like you've been waiting, and then something happens, and then it's like the epilogue, and you get like 3 pages of what happened after,
Okay.
and it's like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah. So I think the rumor, like the speculation, is that season 3 is going to end with more of what everybody was
Okay.
like, what the fuck?
I see. So kind of like bonus chapters.
Yeah, that's kind of
Okay.
what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. It's very, very YA. So, but they are fast. They're quick reads. So if somebody's interested, cool. But I don't know. Don't get your hopes up.
Somebody needs to come up with a book, like a choose your own adventure, where you get to the end of the book and it's like, does she go off with him or does she go off with him? And it goes to 2 separate books that release at the same time, and you can choose which one.
That would be interesting. Do it. Write that book.
Okay. We'll get right on it.
I challenge you. Okay.
Remember how we said last week we don't like recommending books?
Yes.
That would 1000 be a book that I would never recommend. Like,
No.
Nicole, I heard you wrote a book. No.
Nope. That
That's
wasn't
a
me.
different Nicole.
Oh, that's hilarious. No. Don't. I do think that concept is cool, though. Somebody else should do it.
I know, I need to, I don't know, can I
Request
put,
it?
well, I was going to say, but can I put what is it called? Like when you put your idea down on something and then if anybody else uses it, they have to pay you royalties?
Oh, yeah. Like intellectual property.
Yes,
almost.
Can that be intellectual property? All
TM,
right, well,
TM. You
Yes.
TM'd it.
my idea, it is
That's right.
7 1425.
Yes. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Are you ready for our
Yes.
discussion? Okay.
Yes.
It's a new one that we just added.
Yes.
Okay. So it's a little bit different than we've done in the past. So I'm gonna tell you a thing, and we are going to decide who between us is most likely to do that
All right. Yes, I'm
thing. Okay.
excited.
Are you ready? Who is most likely to DNF?
Me.
You, I think.
100%.
Yeah,
I will. Yeah.
I would give it more time. Okay. Cry while reading.
Oh yeah, I put that one in there for especially for you.
100% me. Who we still haven't even found a book that you've cried in yet. Who's most likely to hate a book? You.
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah. Like one strike and you're out policy.
Yeah, exactly. One thing happens and you're like, I hate it.
Never show me a book again.
Who is most likely to have the biggest TBR? I feel like this one might be split.
So, this one is hard because I know you've had a TBR for a really long time that you have
Yes.
documented proof of.
Yes, I have books that from like 2007.
Yes. So I'll say you based
Okay.
on documented proof.
Okay.
But I would say maybe if we're saying physical books.
I don't know. I mean, we both have a lot of those too.
Yeah, I was trying to think if maybe maybe I'll send you a picture of my physical TBR.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of books now, and but I'm gonna say you.
Okay.
Or-
Okay, for research purposes, I'm opening Goodreads real fast.
Oh yeah, let's do that. We'll open Goodreads and let's see.
You have 213 on your want to read.
That's what
I
I
have
say.
390 on my want to read.
You win.
Again, this is mostly, I have been trying to whittle this down, but there are still books out there from like 2007, 8, 9, 10, whatever.
So I have want to read is 200. Oh no, I still don't beat you. Because I was gonna say because I also have an on the shelf in Goodreads.
Oh, uh-huh.
But that's only 108 more books because I haven't been updating it. So
How many do you have on your bookshelf?
I know I have 108.
Oh, you have
It-
me beat because I have 65 on my bookshelf.
Oh, okay.
That's what I have on my Goodreads. Who knows if I've marked them all, but on mine I
Right.
have 108.
I think we can safely say that you get that one.
Yes. Okay. We know who the answer is, or we know who is not the answer. Who is the most likely to read a spoiler?
Oh, yeah, it is
Not
definitely not,
me.
you.
100% not me. Are you likely to read one?
Yeah.
Or you
I'll
don't
do
care?
it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's properly marked,
Okay.
I'm fine with it, and I probably will read it. I just don't like surprise spoilers.
Okay, that's fair. Who is most likely to break a book buying ban? We might be shared on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us are very strict when it comes to book buying bans.
Well, how about we say this? I would never put myself on a book buying ban.
Okay, that's fair.
So therefore, you
I would
are
break
most
it.
likely because you would probably maybe put yourself on one.
I would,
Yeah.
and then I would immediately be like, I want this book.
Exactly. So,
Okay, who is most likely to stay up all night reading? Normally I'd say you, but lately I've been staying up until like 10 or 11 for like the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yes. I told you I'm in this vibe right now of like I want to be reading all the time. So
if I was working remote,
Mm-hmm.
1000% would have no problem. staying up until like 1 or 2 reading because I know I could just sleep in like a little extra. Yeah. But now that I have to actually leave my house and be coherent at work. So today, Nicole does not win.
Okay, today, Nicole, but I feel like I still would normally I would say you on that one. Who is most likely to judge a book by its cover? You think you?
Well, I know I do.
That's what I was going to say. I know I do too. Like, I literally just the other day didn't buy a book because it was ugly.
Okay, you win. You can win that one.
I'm fine with if we share it.
Okay.
Okay. I want to claim this one, but I don't know. Who's the most likely to forget the book 5 minutes after they finished reading it?
Oh, 1,000%. Both of us. Yes.
Okay. Yes. I was gonna say I think we.
Yeah.
I'm so annoyed at myself sometimes. I'll finish a book and I'm like, I literally don't know what the main character's name is.
Yeah, it's like I have a limited amount of space in my brain. And as I'm intaking new information, my brain is like, now if you want this information, you have to get rid of other information. So it's like listening and it's like, oh, none of this is important. Immediately dump. And unless you form an emotional attachment to this person, it is not important.
No,
Forget.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have 2 more.
Oh.
Who is most likely to rage quit a book?
Oh, me. 1,000%. Yes.
Because I think I'm more likely to rage read, like to hate read it.
Yes.
Where you would like rage immediately, be like, I'm done, and quit.
Like double middle finger. Like, no.
Yes. And to me, I would be like, oh, I hate this, but I have to know.
Yes. Yeah, that's actually really true. There's several books where even like I finished it, I was mad the whole time.
Yes. Hated this book. Okay, the last one. Who is most likely to join a fandom?
Oh, you.
Me.
Yes. I think you have a new fandom.
I do have a new fandom. I was just thinking that, like, I literally joined a new fandom this weekend.
Yes.
I am now a crawler. Speaking of that, it's way over there. When he signs the book on the first, in the book 1, it's called Dungeon Crawler Carl, he crosses out Carl and he writes your name if you want it personalized. So I am officially a crawler. But yes, I'm for sure. Fandoms, 100% me. If you have a shirt, a cup, a website, a Patreon, whatever you have, I will be there for it. I'm sucked in so easily. Yes. Well, if I don't know, usually I would ask our listener how they with their questions.
If you would like to answer any of the above questions.
Yes, any of the above questions. How do you feel about them for yourself? And also, do you feel like you know us well enough to where you knew what our answers were going to be for those? Yeah. All right. Go visit us on our website, savorthestorypod.com. Go to all of our socials, Savor the Story Pod, everywhere. Go to YouTube. Like us. Favorite us. Comment. Give us likes, give us loves, give us whatever you want.
Positivity.
Except for hate. Yes, we're only looking for positivity right now. That's it. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Get out of here.